in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Morning, hippies. Hope your weekend's looking good. Remember, if you have a weekend, to thank a union. Our cookie today is of the civic variety. As the desperation among the average citizens of the United States escalates and becomes more and more palpable, cries for reform grow both louder and more varied. Decisions by the SCROTUS, such as the Citizens United, which effectively turn corporations into citizens, and other setbacks limiting the range of legal redress available to us through class actions, have led people to propose a variety of theoretically possible, but practically probably impossible, remedies, the latest of which being the Constitutional Convention. Your obedient servant will vehemently oppose any proposal for remedying our current social ills and dilemmas, which includes a constitutional convention. You don't know what you're getting into. While I deeply sympathize with the sentiment, man, you've got to think about it. I mean, unless you want to, or are at least prepared to, see the entire Constitution scrapped, a constitutional convention is really terribly, terrifically, horribly a bad idea. Understand the impetus to do something, yes, but in this hyper-mediated public environment in which 6 corporations own all the public media, direct democracy isn't really a practicable alternative. Why? Well, or rather, why not? Think about Proposition 8 in California a couple of years ago, amending the California Constitution by initiative, which is to say direct democracy, to exclude gays from the rights accorded by the state to straight couples. It passed, due in most part, most people rightly believe, to massive focused expenditures of disinformation cash by political interests outside California. It was enough to sway the results, which are still being adjudicated even as we speak, and the big outside money is still bankrolling the obstructionists who may ultimately fail, but in doing so will unquestionably have made lots of money and many political advocates. Now, multiply the influence of outside money in California on Proposition 8, exponentially. Then remember that as influential as the interference has been hitherto, it is still without the huge tidal waves of cash that the corporations will be able to unleash through their wholly owned lapdog corporate scum press to sway any deliberations in the context of a, say, constitutional convention where everything's on the table, and any other venue where such discussions might occur in the future also. I mean, you cannot simply limit what can be discussed, reformed, or eliminated when you call a constitutional convention. One size fits all. We're going to have to talk. We're not going to just talk about corporate citizenship. Everything's on the table. Every year, some poli-sci class at dear old Sci-Wash U conducts some man-in-the-street interviews in which they translate the 18th century diction of the Constitution and rewrite it in more contemporary vernacular and ask people if they'd accept it or the Bill of Rights, and routinely about half of the people reject the Constitution today. It's what the Greeks used to call an aporia, an irresolvable contradiction. The people cannot order their representatives to override the power that placed those representatives in their offices in the first place. The corporates, as persons now, have the right to extend any resources in any amount they desire to secure any end they want without any restrictions, and they are essentially boundless and endless in those resources. The corporations can or will have a field day with direct democracy. They already own all the media through which it would necessarily have to be conducted. You don't think they wouldn't use all that power, do you? I mean, or if you truly, really believe there's a difference between, say, Miller and Bud? Well, you see the problem. We'll talk about it when I see you at the beach.